Hello my friends, thanks for tuning in today. It is that time where we talk about the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. The spring one has rolled around and this is a really good opportunity to save some money on some of the different higher end brands. You'll find things at 50% off every single day. So a new day comes, new discounts on certain things are available. And they even this year I noticed have some surprise deals that we won't even know about until the day of. But for the most part, they've put out what is going to be on sale, and I thought I might take like some of the things that interest me most and make a full face out of them. And you know, I'll have some comments on them, and maybe there'll be some where I feel like maybe even getting this in the sale isn't the best deal. You know, there's something drugstore that's even better, that's low cost all the time. You know what I mean? So we're just going to dig in and discuss as I apply. But a lot of these things that I've chosen to put on are things that I do think are really good products. Now, a biggie here to know about, and I feel like this comes around on like the last day of the sale, they're discounting the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Yeah, I'm scraping the sides of my current jar of this, but I love this. I use it every single day. I have it on my face now, and then I have sunscreen on top of that and serums underneath this. But I absolutely love the level of hydration this gives my skin. I mean, this is a really good product for someone who is normal to dry. The hydration is thick, it's rich, you feel like you can go on top of it with any kind of look you want, be it matte or glowy, and kind of get away with it because your skin is so well prepped and moisturized. So I absolutely love this stuff, and that is part of the sale. And the only reason why I probably won't take advantage of that is because I just recently bought like a jumbo size of this stuff, so I'm really going to be stocked for a while. Maybe I will go ahead and buy another. I know I'm going to use it, but that's a really fantastic deal in the sale. Another thing that is marked down is the Dermablend Flawless Creator Multi-Use Liquid Pigments, and let's have a rediscovered moment with these, shall we? They are in the shade 30N for me. I haven't used these in a while. Also, the Beauty Blender was on like day one, I believe, so obviously I'm doing this video a couple days in, so I've missed that announcement. But I know I've seen a lot of other like YouTubers and other people talking about the fact that the Beauty Blender was half off, so that would have been included here had I done this video sooner. But anyway, I've got these drops, and I'm going to give myself some swipes all around the skin. Not too much product because these are potent, y'all. This gives you a really coverage packed look, and I'm just going to use my Beauty Blender to blend this out. And it really, like, you can see what I'm going over here. The discoloration on the cheeks, or not really discoloration, but just like freckles and stuff, just fades away. The nose, just super full coverage, and it's the kind of thing where you could easily add it to something that you weren't as pleased on the coverage level, and you could really get a major boost with just a couple drops of these. But it's darn near concealer optional skin once you get done blending it all out. Like, it really is that good. Something to note is that the finish is matte, so you do end up with kind of a junk flat face. Not that that can't be adjusted with the other products you go on to apply to the skin, but just be aware. But also with the thought of using it as a mixer, if you mix it into something more luminous, or you know, even a drop of this added to different tinted moisturizers, it can be a nice little adjuster product. Another coverage thing that I chose not to apply because I just feel like I've talked about it more over the life of my channel, the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Illumination Cream is on sale. So there were talking a really nice coverage face product with the SPF 50 with a lot of glow in it. That's actually quite a glowy product. My mom uses that every day. It looks great on her. So if you're a fan of that and want to get stocked up, this is me letting you know, yes, that's part of the sale too. But I do feel like my skin was really well hydrated and prepped before I put this stuff on, and I don't look too terribly dry or like mask-like. But it's a truly nice little like high coverage option if that's what you're after, and you can definitely do it in small doses if you want to, as a mixer or on its own. Tarte is marking down the Shape Tapes in this sale on a certain day, and I'll be specifying the days like down here on the screen or in the info box as well. And I think it might be one of those that's like a diamond or platinum exclusive or something, but you know, it's going to amount to a really good deal. And so I thought I would pull out my Tarte Ultra Creamy version of the Shape Tape today because I hadn't used it in a while. I'm 29N light medium, and if you're asking me, well, is Shape Tape a good product? I really think it is. is. Yes, it's a quality product. This kind gives you more creaminess, and I feel like maybe a slight bit less coverage than the original, but still, I would say I am so diehard for that e.l.f. camo concealer, and there is a hydrating version, you know, and that stuff is like $6 all the time. Like, very accessible, big shade range, and just good quality. So I don't feel like I need to buy Tarte all the time. So while this stuff is good, and if you really like it, now might be a good time, you know, during the sale to keep an eye on what day it comes out and snatch some up. But if you're asking me personally, will I be buying it? No, I won't, because I see the e.l.f. as the ultimate value and the ultimate quality as well. But as you can see, this did well for me, you know, this ultra creamy. It covered well. It didn't rob me of any hydration. In fact, it added some extra, you know, because we are using that creamy version. But if you want an even lower cost value that's gonna cut the price in half even after this is discounted, I would say go for e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Okay, let's talk about a fantastic face palette here, the Lorac Pro Contour. This is so good. It has a gorgeous highlight, but it also has like skin tone powders you'll actually use, and then these contour shades that are super pigmented. Think of the pigmentation of Lorac eyeshadows, and yes, they just kind of put this into a face palette. This is really one of the best. You know, a couple days ago I was using a MAC contour palette, and I was kind of sort of struggling with making the contour shades show up. That will not at all be the situation here, and this can easily translate into an eye palette for a basic contoured look just super well. So I love this. This is definitely a worthwhile product, and it's on sale on a day when they're marking down various palettes. There's another palette I'll also be mentioning for eyes that I would recommend on that day. But yeah, the reason why I pull this out right now is because I'm going to use the beige highlight, which is just a nice little matte powder here. I'm going to use that to set my under eye, okay? So we're just gonna dab it in. Nice matte light cream color that's not gonna dull you down. I could use that easily all over, like center of the face. Very mattifying, but just a nice like basic powder to have. I love that it's included in here. Okay, then we can start sculpting and contouring with these other shades. I'm gonna go into the medium contour shade. And you can see I just get an instant impact from this. I love this powder. So easy to use. You're just going to take one dab into the product, okay? And then we just kind of slowly build from there. But really, it's not that slow of a build, I must say. So this is the medium shade, and then we have a shade darker than this and a shade lighter than this in the palette. And you might find yourself kind of mixing and bouncing around. Love. Easily blendable. You're not going to find any patchiness or any situation where like, oh, I've taken that as far as it can go and it won't blend out. No, it will totally work with you. Okay, so just speed mode there, but contoured all over with so much ease. You've also got that light powder there, and we have a beautiful highlight too, which I'm just going to go ahead and apply, and then I'll do a blush. There wasn't really a blush in this sale that I was going to go after, so I'll just find something else to use. But the shimmer highlight shade, so nice, so pearly, and it's just light to where it would work on the fairest skin tone, but it would definitely pop on deeper skin tones as well. Look at that, how it just brings light right there. It's such a good tone. And it's the kind of product where I feel like, you know, I've had it for a while, but it's hard to put dents in Lorac powders, I tell you, because you're only using a little bit every time. So you would definitely have this for a long time, I believe, if you got it. See, look at that pretty pearlescent glow we've got going on top of everything. It's a really great pick for the sale. But you best believe I'm not leaving out blush. So this is just, you know, random Wet n Wild here. Pearlescent pink. Wet n Wild single blushes really are good. I like Mellow Wine as well. But look, great pigmentation. Just easy to work with. No frills, but like there doesn't need to be. Not in the sale, just always fairly priced and awesome, okay? How's everybody adjusting to the time change? I feel like I'm gonna need to actually wake up my kids instead of them waking up early today for school, because now we're back in after a week of spring break. Look how pretty that blush went on over top of the highlight. I love that. And then I'm gonna set with, I'm gonna use Fix Plus because that was also part of the sale, although a couple days back. Fix Plus, love it. Use that. The scent. Awesome. Why do I feel compelled to take a little dab over things after I do some setting spray if I've been using a beauty blender? Pretty skin, nice coverage everywhere. For the brows, I noticed that the Gimme Brow from Benefit is part of this sale. Now, I don't feel like that's something you absolutely have to go for. I'm also using my Revlon Brow Creator right now. I don't feel like you have to go for that, even though it is a great product. You know, it gives a lot of pigment to the brows, tiny brush that's easy to control, gives you hold as well in the brows, and of course comes in a range of colors. It's a nice product, but I would still go for Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt over that. Heck, I would probably even go for Almay Brow Styler over that. So these are situations where just because it's a high-end thing and oh my gosh, it's on sale, it doesn't mean that's still the best option, and it doesn't mean that there aren't drugstore things that are still better than that, you know? So that's kind of why I'm doing this video, to in some cases point that out, and in some cases to point out the fact that it is a really good deal worth snatching up. But overall, as you can see, I'm featuring things that I do like, though. For now, we're just filling in those brows. I'm so glad American Idol is back. They've had some amazing, like, auditions so far. I wasn't able to stick it out through the whole episode last night. I kind of fell asleep. But we'll pick it up tonight. The girl last week, though, wasn't it last week, who sang Katy Perry's Wide Awake? Oh, man. That just, like, that was amazing. She was awesome. They have found some hidden gems. That's the thing I love about Idol. I feel like they really dig up some people who, like, where did you come from? Just random but really good talent. Okay, so my Gimme Brow is in the shade 5. Teeny tiny tube, teeny tiny brush. Gosh, I'm always kind of astonished when I pull this out at how small the brush is. But it has tint and it has hold, and it was a pioneering product. You know, like, this made all other brands, I feel like, jump on board and create something like this. So it's good. I do like, but knowing what I know, there are still other things that are coming out on top. And I managed to get a big chunk of it right there in the inner corner. It heard me naysaying and it wanted to give me a little obstacle. No, it's not so bad. I just had to brush through. Milani eyeshadow primer, not in the sale, but you should just have this already, okay? Nothing new. Little teeny tiny bit. And there's an eyeshadow palette that I'm very excited about that's in this sale. It's from Persona. And it is the Identity 2 palette, okay? So this is the little more colorful, kind of like, makes me think a little bit jewel tone palette that they have. I really like the Identity 1 as well, so just know that's amazing. But I got this, didn't I get this for Christmas? And I love this too. The pigment is flawless on these palettes. The shimmers are incredibly easy to work with. You get some basic mattes in here too, so here, here, and here, definitely. Oh, and the black is matte too, and this one right here. But then there is quite a bit of glitz in here, but they're all like consistent, easy to work with textures. So I'm going to be using that palette today, but they snuck this in on the day of multiple palettes being discounted. That's the same day that the Lorac Pro Contour is marked down too. There's also a Nabla, the side-by-side palette, which kind of reminded me of the Urban Decay Naked One. That's involved in this sale as well, but if push comes to shove and there's one eye palette I would recommend from the sale, it would be this. So I'm going to take this color called Loyal here with my crease brush, because I'm becoming kind of loyal to this brand. Use the shade Loyal. They're just so easy to use. And really, if you're seeing this and you're thinking, I'll probably never use that green, or I'd probably never use that navy blue in the corner, well then get the Identity 1, which is not in this sale, but like, it's full of your everyday basics. It's a great everyday palette. I love using it. Okay, so as you can see, we're just starting things off here with a very basic little crease color, and I'm going to come over to Passionate right here which is kind of like a mix of terracotta with a little more rose. And I'm just blending that out. Thank you guys for the well wishes as I get over my little cold here. It's really no big deal. I think sometimes I get on here and my voice just, if I've had a cold, my voice sounds bad, but I'm really not that bad off. And I'm really feeling great today. Like all throughout the weekend, I've been in good shape. It's like once you go from being severely congested and then you can breathe again, it's like the world is your oyster. You're like, oh my gosh, life is good again. I can breathe. I took that for granted, breathing through my nose. So now I'm just taking a bare brush and kind of hitting the edge of what was just applied, making sure it gets blended. And then I also have a great color here called Kind, and there's also a shimmer as well. That shimmer comes off a little bit like kind of pinky peachy, but I'm using the shade called Kind, which is one of the mattes. It's a nice kind of cleanup shade. Really smooths out those edges. What else happened over the weekend? Oh hey, Tom Brady's back in football again. He's back. He's out of retirement. Tom Brady would be me if I ever said goodbye to YouTube. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm back. I couldn't stay away. Hey, I feel him. You love it, you love it. I'm gonna use a little bit of Independent right up here, which is this really pretty navy blue. It's got a little shimmer to it. It's got like a little, I don't know, when you glance at it, the sheen of it gives it a little bit of a silvery vibe, but you can tell it's definitely a true navy. And a really pretty thing about this palette is the fact that the rich tones show up as they are, you know. That really does look like navy blue instead of just looking like murky black. Okay, you can really see the blue in it, but in a wearable way. To me, I mean, who's to say what's wearable and what's not? So don't just take my word for it, but to me, I feel like rich shades that still do show their color are a very wearable way to put on color. When it's a little bit deeper like this and just not quite so bright, it feels easier to step into. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I've got this patted all over outer lid. I'm kind of flipping the brush just to help that go to the crease. And then I'm thinking a sensible thing to do might be to go down here to Empowered. This shade is like a shimmery berry. And kind of work that into my crease on the edge of the blue. And I've already got something a little bit rosy happening there. Oh, these shades just work together in conjunction with one another so nicely. I've already had some requests to figure out a dupe for the bright pink blush from Persona. So I'm going to get working on that. I probably have something that's close at least. But there we are, we're getting that crease a little deeper than it was. And then back to kind of blending it on the edge a little bit. And then this was my plan, you guys, to take this color here because I love a pinky peach with a navy blue on the eyes. I did a video, God, it was years and years ago. I was in this room, but it was in its pink phase. And I did a peachy pink and navy eye, and it was one of the prettiest eye looks I've probably done to date on my channel. But yeah, I just went into this right here and letting that come right up to meet our blue. Oh, pretty contrast there. And that's the color called Honest. I think I've said it before, but these shadows kind of remind me of the Sydney Grace shadows that I use from the Temptalia Sydney Grace palettes. Really good stuff. Isn't that nice? Now look at that little, just so subtle splash of blue on the eyes. Yes, I love that. I just maybe had a little left on my crease brush, so not using any additional product, but just continuing to blend here a bit. Such ease. Isn't that great? I love it. And not a fleck of fallout to be found, my friends. I love it. Okay, so at this point, I don't believe there was a mascara in this sale that I was going to go after. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through again. Not a lot of mascaras offered. That's interesting. So I'm just going to pop that on, finish up my eyes, and then we'll move on to lips. We don't have any eyeliner on. We're just wearing the Max Stack mascara. And moving into lip recommendations. Bare Minerals Mineralist line, they make some amazing lipsticks, you guys. Remember me talking about these kind of around holiday time? They had a great little bundle of them. Well, there are a couple of shades that I just absolutely love. One is called Presence. I'm going to put it on for you. These are smooth, not real shiny lipsticks, but they still provide a good amount of moisture. Like they don't feel drying. There's a nice little luxurious thickness. You know how I like that in a lipstick. Smooth and creamy pigmented one swipe color. This shade called Presence. If you love a dusty rose, that's that for sure. And then, but there's a lot of beautiful shades. It's not just limited to what I'm saying here. Then we also have a color called Inspiration. This pretty red. Such a true red. So lovely, so life-giving and special looking on the face, and not goopy, slick, greasy at all. So you can kind of count on it to stay there. And the staying power with these is actually quite nice, because while they're a cream formula lipstick, they just so walk that line, because they don't feel like a dry matte, but they're not a greasy cream. They're just kind of right in the middle. So they do actually wear really well. But I would highly recommend the Mineralist line. The glosses in that line are very nice as well. And look at that immediate staining from that shade. See if I can use my little lip eraser to remove some excess color, because I got one more thing to show you. Yep, it's pretty good. The Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. Okay, this is the style of product. Remember when I was talking about the M Cosmetics lip cushions? They're a product that kind of clicks up just past their little plastic barrier there, and then all that product that you've clicked up transfers down to the lips. They're like a soft stick, okay? And you end up with a lot of shine. The M Cosmetics ones seem to carry more pigmentation, while these are a little more sheer. But there's a certain shade that I love here, and it's called Strawberry. And it's just like the perfect rosy shade. And you end up a little bit glossy. It's just so good. Look at this. What's transferring down? It's going to give you the look of a gloss, but the feel of a lip balm going on. And that kind of like ever so soft coconutty scent, that is so fresh and pretty, especially going into spring and summer. I love those kind of soft reds. It reminds me kind of a glossier take on the You're the Palm lip balm from CoverGirl. But looky here, my friends, we've got a full face figured out with the Ulta sales stuff. If I had to narrow this down to a top three, I would have to say, number one, the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Number two, the Persona Identity 2 palette. I mean, it's just jewel tone perfection, but wearable on a daily basis. You could also sidestep any of the jewel tones for a really pretty brown or rosy brown look. I love that palette. And even me personally, I haven't even explored every option that this can give you, but I was so happy with that little tinge of blue in the look today. And number three, I would have to say, is the Lorac Pro Contour palette. There's so much in here that's good, you guys, from the matte light powders to the matte contouring powders to that beautiful glowy highlight. It's just 100% goodness there. So those are my top three. You might say, well, what about the Dermablend stuff? I do like that as well. However, you know, when we're talking coverage, there are a lot of options these days, even from a drugstore price point. So if you want to try Maybelline Super Stay Foundation and get your full coverage there, that's a good price any day of the week. Or you guys know I'm a big fan of like Wet n Wild Photo Focus. So I feel like there's no shortage of really good quality, lower cost foundations out there. So you don't absolutely have to get this, but it does offer some kind of unique benefits in that it has that dropper style where you could easily just add a drop here or there and kind of customize the level of coverage in various products that you have. So you know if that's appealing to you or if you think you need that. But you kind of heard with the other things I mentioned, you know, like talking about the Tarte Shape Tape, you know, that's a great product. You're not going to regret it, but at the same time, you can always get a good deal on e.l.f. Camo concealers, either of the varieties of that, and they're never going to do you wrong, and they're always going to be cheaper. So that's my takeaway, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked seeing some of these products in action. And yeah, have a great day. I love you guys. Bye.